12 things that a narcissist despises. You see, a lot of times you have a relationship that starts with a narcissist, and there's all these different things that the narcissist early on highlights as being one of the best things about you. Maybe you were caring, maybe how you talked, maybe how kind you were, maybe different things that were in the relationship. They're just like, wow, I really love how you communicate really well. You're a straight shooter. You're really generous to a lot of people. You forgave that person. That's really awesome. And all these different attributes that tend to be so wonderful and that tend to be validated by another person so often ends up being something that they flip and they start to hold it against you. Did you have that? Did you have a relationship with a narcissist where all of a sudden you started getting to the place where you're like, wait a second, that's something that you said you liked about me. That's something you said that you enjoyed about our relationship. That's something you said you liked as I was growing up that was beneficial for my health and well-being. That was something that you said, and the list goes on and on. But the narcissist a lot of times will hold in contempt the things that you do, the things that develop you, the things that you are. So I want to look today at a list of 12 things that the narcissists often hold in contempt of you. If you haven't remembered, we're going through this book here, The Narcissist in Your Life by Julie Hall. Feel free to be able to check out some of her information on there. It's been really good. But as we're going through it, I want to be able to share a little bit about the narcissist contempt. I'm going to start off by reading here. It says, the bottom line is that narcissists nearly inevitably reach a point of contempt about everyone and everything. If that sounds extreme, consider a dictionary definition of contempt. The feeling that a person or thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving of scorn. Ultimately, virtually nothing and no one is spared from the narcissist's cynical contempt, where they turn it around on you. Those very same things that they said they were in love with are the same things that they want to destroy. Here's 12 of them for you today. Let me know in the comments which ones resonate with you. Number 1, language, which they twist and distort. And they'll change around the language that you use, the things that have made up your communication, of how you talk, of how you interact, your accent, different things like that. All the different things that they love is the stuff that they turn around and put back on you. The stuff that they want to make you feel bad about. A lot of times they'll have contempt for kindness, which a lot of times they'll see as disingenuous or weakness. You are kind to that person, they see that as being able to take advantage of you. You were kind to them, they're like, wow, this must be okay to keep doing. This must be okay to keep doing because of their kindness. A lot of times you'll see a narcissist that'll be very in tune with, hey, how kind you are early in the relationship, and then later they'll start to mock you for it. Later it'll be something that they'll throw back in your face and be like, yeah, this is who you are? That's ridiculous. And they'll try to blame you or make you feel stupid. Honesty. Honesty is a big one. Why? Because a narcissist wants you to be honest, to tell them everything. Narcissist early on in the relationship is literally just sitting there saying, download, let me know everything about you, be vulnerable, be honest with me, and they're saying how much they love it. Well, the whole time they're cataloging and categorizing everything that you're saying so they can turn around, they can use it on you later to manipulate you, to control you. Narcissists want you to be honest, and they'll get really upset when you're not honest with them. They'll get really upset when you don't tell them where you're going, who you're with, or a cheating relationship that you had on them. When they find out about that, it's almost like game over because they want you to be honest, but it doesn't make sense because they don't want to do that either. They're not going to be honest with you. And at the flip side, they flip it around. They have to have contempt where they say, hey, your honesty is weakness. Number 4, responsibility. Responsibility narcissists don't take, right? Right. They deflect it. They push it off. They put it on other people. But they don't want to hold on to it. They don't want to have it. It's something they'll be like, oh, that's great that you're responsible. That's great that you're a self-made person. That's great that you have a job, that you have a car, that you have a paid-off house, whatever it might be. They'll say all these things are great, and then they'll turn around, they'll manipulate and use those things because that's the same thing that they scorn. A lot of times you'll see this with narcissists when they get with successful people. They look for a successful person. They're like, I want to be with that person because it'll make me feel better. And then they get with that person. They realize, whoa, this doesn't make me feel better. If anything, it makes me feel worse because now this person is successful and I am not. All about the narcissist. Number 5, trust. Again, narcissist wants the other person to be honest and wants the other person to trust them. But the narcissist is not willing to reciprocate that with their own trust. Typically, what you'll see is the narcissist will violate your trust no matter what. Whether that's lying, manipulation, gaslighting, like whatever it might be, the narcissist is going to manipulate that and try to control you. And as a result, they'll try to take away your trust. But it'll be one thing that they'll look like they're validating early on. They'll have in contempt. They'll scorn you for it later. That you were so trusting. That you were naive. Number 6, love. Love a lot of times is because they don't consistently feel it, but they use it as a weapon to others. You see, they see love. They see love in the movies. They see love with people around them. They see love with their friends and family and things like that. And a lot of times they'll use it as a weapon. They'll use it as a way to be able to control another person because they know, hey, this is something you want. So early on in the relationship, it's something that they provide or that they give or that they show up in giving you that. But then they start pulling it back. They start showing, this isn't what you're going to have. And this isn't what I'm going to give you. But they use love as a weapon against other people. Number 7, authenticity. Authenticity is hard for a narcissist, and they want to be able to scorn that and hold it in contempt because that has the option of actually revealing who they actually are. They don't want to be authentic. They don't want you to be authentic and expose them, and so they're going to do anything they can to be able to scorn that, to be able to put you down so that you're not authentic. You're not authentic to who you are. You're not authentic about their relationship to other people because they don't want other people to know. They don't want people to see behind the mask of who they actually are, of what's actually going on. So it ends up being something that narcissist scorns you and holds you in contempt of having. Number 8, generosity, which threatens their primitive selfishness. Narcissist doesn't like you to be generous. Maybe early on in the relationship, they'll be like, wow, that's so amazing. But then you start finding that generosity to other people or that generosity to the narcissist is what either gets shamed or taken advantage of. They'll shame you for how much you're being generous to other people. They say that doesn't make business sense. Like, that's stupid. Like, why would you do that? They'll shame you for all these different types of things that you're generous for, and they'll also use it to their advantage. Wow, this person's generous. Let me get into their life. Let me manipulate them, and let me get money out of them. Let me get time and affection out of them. Let me get sex out of them. Whatever it might be. The narcissists are going to use anything they can to manipulate you, but they're still going to scorn you for it. It's still going to be something that they hold in contempt. Number 9. Forgiveness, which they regard as admitting fault and giving others power. A narcissist holds that in contempt because they don't want to admit fault. Like, narcissists won't say that they're wrong. They won't admit that fault. And they'll give other people's power. What they'll also see is in other people, when other people forgive them, they view it as a check mark. Of like, sweet, check the box, I'm good, I'm forgiven. Now I can do whatever I want. Now I can be who I want. Now I can interact the way I want. A lot of times forgiveness, when you forgive a narcissist and you don't see any change, is because the narcissist looked at that forgiveness, they either viewed it as weakness or they viewed it as a privilege. I'm like, sweet, I'm forgiven. Now I can keep doing everything else that I was still doing. Like, it's okay. They forgave me. So they move on, they keep abusing, they keep devaluing, they keep shaming, they keep doing all the same things because you forgave them. Now, am I saying don't forgive people? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you forgive people, you also have to have boundaries and consequences in place to provide discipline. So you can actually say, like, hey, I forgave you. This shouldn't happen again. It happens again. Okay, here's the consequence. Oftentimes people get in the habit of just forgiving with no consequence, with no changed behavior, and they just keep doing it. They're stuck with the narcissist future faking. Number 10, remorse. Narcissist doesn't feel that remorse. And if they ever did, they see it as a weakness, especially when they see it in other people. They see it as a weakness for other people so they can exploit them, so they can use that other person. If that person feels remorse, I can capitalize that. I can use that for my own gain. A lot of times that's how a narcissist thinks. Accuracy. Number 11 is accuracy, which threatens their self-protective distortions of reality. Narcissists hate it when other people are more accurate than them. And narcissists want to be accurate, or narcissists will gaslight or change around, distort the idea so that they can be the accurate ones because, again, they do not want to be wrong. They don't want to be the person at fault. Number 12, and the last one, truth, which they fear and work to deny, dismiss, and deform. Narcissist hates truth. Because the narcissist doesn't want to be true to themselves. They don't want to be true with what's going on. And they have to be able to create something, a false persona, the mask, and then they have to be able to hold it and support it on multiple fronts, on multiple facets. And narcissists a lot of times will hold in contempt you having truth. They'll try to devalue that, defame you, like put you down, anything like that, because they don't want the truth to come out of who they are, of what they're doing, of what's going on. And narcissist is all about that control. If you picked up on these, or if these are stuff that the narcissist like scorned you or that put you down or held you in contempt, would love to be able to talk to you, try to help with your healing journey along the process. If you want to, reach out, rawmotivation.com, click on one-on-ones, be able to schedule a time we can talk. Sit down, be able to answer questions, work through stuff, be able to talk about narcissism, and be able to help you develop a plan for your growth and development moving forward. If you haven't had a chance, download the NARC app. Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Community on Apple and Google Play. Be able to join a community of like-minded people that are growing, healing, and changing, that are recording their truth, that are tracking their no contact, that are talking to each other, that are helping support each other on a day-to-day basis. You can get coaching discounts, you can have the monthly coaching calls, all different types of stuff that are in the app that we're continually growing and progressing each and every single day. Look to see you there.